All right, so gotten a couple DMs about what it takes or what you have to do to become a police officer. So I figured I'd make a quick video instead of trying to reply to all of the DMs and all of the comments individually. You gotta forgive the scruffy. I'm out on my bike and it is hot as. So the requirements to become a police officer vary on a state-by-state basis. In Ohio, where I'm at, the minimum requirement, not what most of us have, but the minimum is at least a high school diploma and the Basic Peace Officer Training Academy. The Basic Peace Officer Training Academy is administered by the State of Ohio Attorney General's office, and they are responsible for all police training, continual training, basic training, all of that. Now, to enroll in a police academy, you need to apply to one of Ohio's dozens of academies. Ohio allows for open enrollment in academies, so you don't need to be sponsored by a department to start. And most of them are run by colleges. Part 2. All right, I'm probably going to need a part 3 for this, but I'm only going to do 2 right now because it's really hot and I'm tired of sitting here. So once you get enrolled in your Basic Peace Officer Training Academy, you can actually start your training and start learning how to be a police officer. The state sets all the minimum standards. They set the hours of curriculum. They set everything. They're going to go over everything from criminal law to arrest to search to seizure to arrest tactics, self-defense tactics, firearms, driving, community policing, mental health outreach, addiction services outreach, all the various things that we have to know to be able to do this job effectively. Last but not least, you get to do your physical fitness test. There's a minimum physical standard you have to meet to be certified as a peace officer in the state of Ohio. Once you've completed all that, you get to take your final test and you get to be certified by the state. But wait, you're not commissioned yet. For that, you need to get hired by an agency, such as, a city, a township, a county sheriff's office, whatever the case may be. And I'll talk about that process in part 3. All right, part 3 of how to become a peace officer in Ohio. The next thing you have to do is get a job with an agency so they can hold your commission. How this works depends on whether or not the agency is a civil service agency. If it is a civil service agency, you have to wait until they post a test saying that they're hiring, then you have to go and take that test. All the applicants are ranked competitively based on how they score on the test, and they factor in sometimes extra credit for things like college degrees or military service. Then you do a physical assessment to make sure you're still up to the standards, and then you can start the background process. Background varies from agency to agency, but you can expect to list every place that you've ever worked, every place that you've ever lived, a list of your friends, relatives, acquaintances, ex-girlfriends or boyfriends, ex-husbands or ex-wives, financial information such as bank accounts and debt, as well as activity about any possible criminal wrongdoing. And that includes the stuff you did and didn't get caught for. I had to admit to stealing a chicken nugget from the Burger King I worked at as a teenager. But if you make it past that phase, you go on to a psych eval and then a conditional job offer. Then swear in and field training. All right, I wasn't planning on making a part 4, but I wanted to talk about field training because that's the next step after you hire on with the police agency. In field training, the new officer is assigned to a veteran officer called a field training officer. The FTO is responsible for taking all of the knowledge that the rookie acquired in the academy and teaching him how it applies in the real world. It's a kind of supervised on-the-job training because not everything that we do in police work conforms to classroom settings. It's also the last stage of the hiring process because during probation, you can be terminated or failed out of field training for pretty much any reason. So if you're not cutting it, you might be going home. The rookie officer will ride with the FTO every day for a predetermined amount of time. Some agencies, it's as short as 8 to 10 weeks. Other agencies, it can be up to a year where you're supervised by your FTO. After every shift, the training officer will complete a daily observation report documenting how the trainee did that day, identifying strengths, deficiencies, and remedial training. And if you pass all that, you get to work on your own as a peace officer.